What's going on? This is the Broke Genius, and welcome to the life of a broke genius. Welcome to my channel.
Standing on
Hey,
it.
nigga, listen to me, homie.
Which one is it?
When you a boss and you really out here doing shit, you don't play shit how motherfuckers expect you to play it. I really play chess, nigga. I don't play checkers. I don't live with a bitch.
What's going on? What's going on? Tonight, we gonna talk about business. While everybody else talks about what they talking about, we gonna talk about this money. We gonna talk about these millions. I want to hear anybody that if they played the Mega Millions. Shout out to the Illinois Lottery, $1 billion lottery drawing. I almost forgot. I just had to go ahead and drop it like it's hot. Dropped about $40. I think in Illinois, if you play so many tickets or whatever, you get free pretty much pick 5 tickets, which is called the Lucky Day Lotto. I mean, hey, I did not necessarily, I normally pick my drawings myself, but I just got some quick picks. I got about 10 quick picks, which actually 20, which cost me about 40 bones. And it's only time this ever happened was one time a few years ago, the drawing was over $1 billion. I mean, come on, man. Gotta play when it's that type of money. I think it's like after taxes, it's like $700 million. I mean, that's a lot of money, man. And that's basically what I'm talking about tonight. Tonight, I'm talking about pretty much small business owners that have been successful to the point where they became millionaires, which that is the ultimate goal of owning a business. That's why people go into business. Not everybody actually makes it to that level. A lot of times people crap out, such as myself. My first scaling from, you know, where I started my business to ultimately where I had a store in the south side of Chicago, it was a pretty major deal for me. But I didn't get nowhere near no millions. Okay. I was not successful. Now, some people have not even been as successful as I have been. Not too many people have actually had a brick and mortar store. Okay. Most people, they might have a small operation in their house or whatever. And that's where they stood. I actually had a brick and mortar store for a few years, but I had nowhere near the success that some and a couple people that I'm gonna mention today. Now I got a thumbs down. Okay, you know, I mean, maybe because they either don't like Nipsey or I don't know, think I'm, you know, giving Nipsey a bad name. I don't have any idea, but whatever. Okay, it's fine. Okay. The thing is it's a lesson learned from Nipsey. And Nipsey Hussle is definitely somebody I'm going to be talking about today. And I'm also going to be talking about another man that pretty much kind of, I'm not going to say he died from a gunshot wound, but he died way worse than Nipsey. Okay. It was a situation that was a little bit way left. And I'm going to talk about this gentleman that died years ago that is still unsolved. And we gonna talk about this because the thing about it is with this guy and with Nipsey, I notice a pattern. Okay. One thing I noticed, even my grandfather was a millionaire businessman. He made it to that $1 million status. You know what I'm saying? Because see, here's the thing about business, why you guys, you know what I'm saying, talking about all this other, you know, bullshit. I said it. A lot of these, like, let's say, for example, restaurants, a good restaurant, okay, even a hole in the wall restaurant can make thousands of dollars a day. On a good night, $10,000. Like on a good Friday or Saturday night, they stay open really late. Like, for example, it's a chain that is in my area is called Sharks. Some of those Sharks, you know, the Arabian Bros, they make like $10,000 a night. You know what I'm saying? Selling chicken wings and fries and some catfish and perch and shit like that, shrimp. They make like $10,000 in one night, man. Probably the best night that they ever had. They can make, you know, way more than that. They can make probably $20,000 in one night. Okay, that's business. That's why a lot of times people separate themselves from the men and the boys, man. You know, you can't make that in no job. You can't, like, even $100,000 a year. That's nothing to a businessman. A businessman that basically, you know, has a small little restaurant. Okay, $20,000 is not something. Even if you made $100,000 a year, you're not gonna make that in a month, let alone in a day. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's not all net profit. Okay, because you got to buy grease, you got to buy flour, cornmeal, whatever, shrimp, you know, fish, chicken wings, you know, all of the things that you serve, you gotta, you know, it's a cost involved in that. But that is business. In business, some people have been very successful in business. Okay, to the point where they don't have to be small business owners. And yeah, if you are watching this, you're getting a free 99 preview, basically free watch. This is going to be on Patreon because this is valuable information, because I'm a grandson of a millionaire businessman and I know how it's done. I seen it with my own eyes. I woke up with it. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather had my grandfather is the only black man that I know in Chicago that had a pharmacy. He was competing with Walgreens and be well before CVS was in existence. Ain't no black man that I know of ever had a pharmacy and competing with Walgreens and shit like that. You know, had a liquor store and a laundromat and then buildings on top of it with residential, commercial units, man. I mean, I didn't know it at the time. He didn't tell me till I had my actual store, and he told me, yeah. I mean, grandson, I had, I was a millionaire. I was actually gonna buy a yacht, but I talked myself out of it because I had nowhere to put it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was that successful, and then here's how successful he was. He was successful with a business partner. He made $1 million as being a business owner, and he had to split the profits with his ex-army buddy. Okay, I mean, this is what insight I can give, and it's definitely valuable. Consider yourself lucky if you're watching this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be some information that might even save your life. One thing I'll say, my grandfather is very, very paranoid of his residents. He watches the door. Now I don't know what he had to do, man. I'm thinking my granddaddy had to man off some people, because the thing about business, it is very simple. Business is war. Okay, business is basically capitalistic war. Yes, make no bones about it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who knows what he had to do to pretty much keep claim and continue his business endeavors day by day, week by week, year by year, and decade, by decade. Who knows? In the mean streets of Chicago, surrounded by, all of these, gangbangers and stuff like that. And one thing about Chicago back in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, even early 90s, it wasn't like the Chicago now. It was a lot more organized. You actually had gang leaders, you know what I'm saying? So my grandfather had to deal with all of that. He had to deal with the underworld, people around his business and stuff like that. So who knows what he had to do, okay, to people that were, what I'm saying, causing a little trouble. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it does go that way sometimes. And when it goes that way sometimes, you have to be very, very much on the defense. Okay. Now, the first thing that I'm going to be talking about in relation to this, and the whole thing that I'm saying is basically the general synopsis of where I'm talking about is when you are very, very successful, it's some things that you have to do to take things to another level. One, and two, you have to also protect what you also already pretty much was able to receive. You have to protect that, and you have to move accordingly. Okay. That is basically the synopsis of where I'm going. And we're gonna start off first with the first order of business. And this is not scaling properly. Okay. How many people do you know had a business? They had one business, one location, and they did fairly well. And then next thing you know, they went out of business, or they could have scaled and went to other parts of the city that they were in, or other parts of the state, or even regional, where they went to multiple states and stuff like that. One thing I'll say, like, it's a franchise in Chicago. I used to work with the cousin of the restaurant actual franchise owner that died. The franchise is called Harold's Chicken. I actually worked with his cousin. I used to work at a school. I had so many jobs. I met so many people. It's just crazy. I don't even know if that man is still alive, but he was actually the cousin of Harold's Chicken. And I could have had a franchise for a discount because I knew the guy, but this was like, I don't know how many, this was back in 2005, so this is about 15 years ago. I don't know if the man was old then. I don't know how that man is doing. Don't even remember his name, but he was actually the cousin of Harold's Chicken. Okay, he even said at that time he get a little cut from the business. He was just working at a school just because he was retired. He was just, trying to just, stay busy. But the thing is that Harold's Chicken is not only in Chicago. It's not only, just in the city of Chicago. It's in the suburbs of Chicago. It's in Indiana. It's a Harold's Chicken in California. I think it's a Harold's Chicken in Atlanta. They got Harold's Chickens all over, right? That is an example of what I'm talking about of scaling. You want to get your name out there. You want to get your businesses out there. A lot of times people, they make the money. I mean, one thing, okay, when I say small business, what I mean about small business is $0 to $1 million. Once you make $1 million, you are no longer a small business. That is enough money for you to actually be a business. And my definition of business is you are off the basically off the day-to-day dealings of your hands-on work of the business is less than 25%. You're not waking up every day, going to open your store, actually running the cash register, cooking all of the food, doing all of the activities, doing all of the work. You're only doing it like if it's an emergency purposes, meaning it was nobody showed up, you have to show up. Or, basically because you want to come in every now and again because you're bored. You want to come in your restaurant, show your face around and brag and boast and, cook some food and serve some guests and ask how their food was. And then you're going to get out. You only do probably like maybe once a week or twice a week, if that, maybe a couple times a month. That's what I mean by 25% of the hands-on operation. You're there just to check on the books, check on the bookkeeping, check to make sure the restaurant's clean, check on the managers, make sure they're doing, and you're out the door. Your office is at your home or at your actual office where you manage maybe other businesses. That is what I mean by a business. A lot of times people, yes, it's okay. A lot of times people are running a small business. And going into the meat of the potatoes of this conversation, a lot of times people have the same mindset of a small business owner and actually have the actual capital of owner. And that is where a lot of times things get dangerous and things get murky. The waters get murky. And I'm going to be talking about that. Okay. After I talk about this, well, I guess actually while I talk about this, I'm going to go into an actual article, the first article. So a local unsolved case. Okay. And what I mean about this is being too accessible. When you are a business owner or when you have a business and you're making millions of dollars, you should not be accessible. It should not be very, you're supposed to have, this is how this goes. You're supposed to have an administrative assistant, which is, pretty much a secretary. And that secretary should reach out to the manager And if it's an absolute emergency where the manager can't deal with it and an administrative assistant / secretary can't deal with it, then yes, they can route the call to you. Meaning the freaking governor of the state of wherever you are is trying to get a hold of someone. Yes, you can answer the phone for the governor. But if little Mook Mook is looking for you because he's mad he didn't get an extra sauce, he should not be calling you being a multi-millionaire business owner. No, it's not how it works. You're not a small business owner once you make a certain level of success. You're stymieing your success with these small business ideologies and actual business practices. The broke genius is here to tell you, because the broke genius saw his grandfather. You know, one of my future videos is 5 things my grandfather did or didn't do, or you know, pretty much should have done different. Well, this is a preview of that. Okay. You have to a certain level. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure. Shout out to, I don't know this guy, but this guy, he got a lot of tattoos, a whole bunch of big thick ass gold chains, and he's a multi-millionaire. He sold basically games for children to teach basically personal finance. It became a millionaire. In the real people like this really in tune with like a lot of social media and everything and business already know who I'm talking about. Okay, I just don't know the guy's name. He pretty much is a kind of thug looking dude with a whole bunch of tattoos all on his face, big ass gold chains. He's got a nice family. He's a multi-millionaire. He said on that show he had to learn how to fire himself. Okay, he had to fire himself and sit back and let his business run itself, because that is a business, ladies and gentlemen. I agree with Robert Kiyosaki. Okay, you have to have an operation. You have to have a system. A system runs itself indiscrepantly, whether you're there. I am the corporation that I support, that supports the corporation that has the contract with that corporation. Yes, I'm a pivotal gear in that clog. When I don't show up to work, yes, computers don't get passed out. Computers don't get fixed. They don't get properly serviced. Software doesn't get installed. Printers don't get supported. All kind of shit doesn't get supported. Yeah, but they can hire someone to replace me, but it'll take a whole hell of a lot of time. But I am definitely, if I'm not there, it's a freaking clog in the gear. The gear is broken and they have to fix it. So yes, that's an important task and role and level of importance that I do have to a certain degree, but they can still operate with or without me. The business is run without people being there, such as myself. And they have done it before and they'll do it again. Okay, so the thing is that as a corporation, that is a business. It is still operational. The business machines, the system still runs, even if the gear is a little messed up. It's like the transmission. I got on my big pickup truck. The transmission is donezo. I literally have to pop the gear in one, drive it, then pop it in drive to get it driving. Today, I made a little money on the side. A friend of a friend needed to move, made a little bucks to use my pickup truck, and I was able to do it because my brakes worked to a certain extent, because I put some money in my brake on my brake job on my truck a couple weeks ago, and I reaped the benefits from it. Still kind of, you got to be very cautious, but what I'm saying is that transmission, it still works even with it having some messed up gears in the transmission, obviously. So that's what I mean by that. It's still, that system still works. Okay. So that is a business. Once you get some type of operational structure to your actual business, and you know how it works, you being the owner, you know how that business works. A lot of times people are successful, and because they have so many fears about somebody stealing money and somebody not doing it the proper way and hiring the right people, all of these isms and schisms and stuff like that, that they really need to go sit down and talk to a therapist that, I don't know, I'm sure is niche therapists that actually deal with business owners. I'm sure they are. Just like in the show Billions, there's a therapist that primarily deals with traders. So the thing is that that's something that is a mental blockage that has you think that somebody's going to do this and do that, when there's camera systems nowadays. This is, my grandfather, he operated his business starting in the 60s. There was no CCTV cameras. If they were like very expensive, I'm sure, and probably only expensive companies and government organizations had them. Like CCTV cameras didn't really become popular till the 80s and the 90s, of course, till now. You can get camera systems. You can get companies. There's companies that you pay them a certain fee, they will monitor your camera systems for you. If they see anybody putting any money in their pocket or any shady activity, they'll send you an auto-generated report of the video. And you can fire them on the spot, or if you want to give them another chance or whatever the case may be, you can do that. And then, of course, a lot of transactions are credit card related and stuff like that. So all of these, things. And then also, how about this? In business, there's what is called shrinkage. There's going to be shrinkage. Customers, if you got a restaurant, they're eating the food. If you're selling retail, they're going to take some damn soap to a home, because they just feel like, a lot of times people feel like, okay, well, I work here, I'm going to take something, from work because it's just here. Okay. I mean, it's going to be that, a lot of times that actual fear, it's a penny wise, dollar foolish situation, because you overwork yourself and overburden yourself in fear of missing out of some type of possible theft or shrinkage in the possible foreseeable future, when it inherently might not be that big of a deal. And you can definitely put things in place, such as cameras positioned in a certain place where you can monitor, any possible shrinkage or theft, right? So, I mean, the thing is that when it comes to being too accessible, you being there on site, here's the thing. Once you get to a certain level, the customers around you, let's say you're in a neighborhood, you're in the ghetto, like my grandfather's neighborhood where his businesses were, this is the ghetto. Okay. It was, it still is to this day. So, when they know you're a millionaire, you're selling liquor, you're selling out, you got lines every time you're in the store, they know you're a millionaire and you're there. You're on site. They know, okay, this dude, we know where he lived, they know what he drives, you know you there, and you're extremely accessible, and you achieve a certain status people, would only dream of. Even to this day, people act like being a millionaire is no big deal. Even a lot of times in my mind, I think of it as like it's not being a big deal. Man, people don't even make $100,000, let alone $1 million. It is still a big deal, and it always has been a big deal, So, and especially if you're in a very poor neighborhood, they know this dude is rich. So, and it goes to the third thing, lack of security. Not gonna go into much of that, but that just is self-explanatory. Now, I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm gonna talk about a couple cases. Okay. Now, we all know what happened to Nip, but you don't know what happened to this guy. And this guy, he had way more money than Nipsey Hussle. Now, I found out about him through a friend of mine that actually used to work for him. Okay. Now, I am going to play this video, fair use. This is from 2013. This guy's name is Brian Hayward. He was shot to death 10 years ago in an apartment building. I'm going to give you a backstory first, though, before I go back into it, so you can get a little insight of clarity that this, the news story does not necessarily know. So this guy, Brian Hayward, middle-aged white guy, about in his 30s. He owned a hotel in Calumet City called the Baymont Inn. And he also owned a whole bunch of real estate properties, including large-scale apartment buildings. And what I mean by large-scale apartment buildings, I'm talking about, let's say, for example, you ever seen an apartment building where it's like this big-ass facility, and it's like it's like, okay, 100 units. It's an apartment building that has like 50 units, 60 units in it. Just like a big, humongous building, a high rise of apartments. He owned like quite a few of those. The man, his net worth was over $60 million. And his day-to-day operations was very much of a small business owner. And what I mean by that is the man was constantly, he loved Baymont Inn, obviously, because he was there quite a bit. Okay. That was one of probably his operations where he liked. Maybe he was, getting a lot of tail there. I don't know. The guy, what I hear, was kind of really, really cool with people. I never even heard people do this, but what he would do is, because everybody knew he was rich. And one thing I will say on a social level, a lot of why these small business owners are around so much is because they like the attention. They like the attention from their customers as well as their employees. I do think that there's some type of embellishment that goes on with that, because one of the things that I know about this guy from what my friend told me was he would offer his employees basically what basically very similar to what they did post-slavery, which was sharecropping, but it was just different. So what he would do would be, let's say one of his employees would be like, I want to buy a house. So what Brian would do was, and this is my friend, and he ain't gonna lie to me. He's gonna tell me straight up. I mean, one of the things about people I know, a lot of my friends, they straight up with me. I'm straight up with them. He ain't gonna tell me nothing. He ain't gonna tell me no lie, especially when it's somebody that's life, transpired, deceased from this situation. So the thing is, what Brian would do would be, you work for him, you wanted a house, Brian would just buy the house for he'll buy the house for you. But you had to work, and you could not, you won't get paid no more. You just work for the house. I don't know what the arrangement was, but basically most of your income will go toward that house, and you'll have a house, which is not really that bad of a deal. Because see, here's the thing: if you work for a hotel workers only make the equivalent of minimum wage, and you talking about you got an entire house. Okay, most people can't afford to pay for a house or even have their self together to even be able to buy a house. So you actually have a house out of the deal. A car, he would give you a car of obviously show up to work. There's nothing. If he give you a house, he definitely give you a car. But the thing is that you wouldn't necessarily get that much out of your paycheck. I'm just safe to say you're probably 80 to 90% of your paycheck will be gone, you know, because you got this house and whatnot, and he bought it for you. So he would do stuff like that for his employees, which is kind of somewhat cool. But then you think about it like, God damn, do I really want to work completely to the bone, you know, not get nothing just for a house? You know what I mean? You know, it just, I don't know. It begs the question, you know what I'm saying? But that is one of the things that I'll say. You know, and he was definitely very, very much one of those guys that was always at the business, was always at either the apartment complex or the hotel that he owned. Now, I'm gonna go back to play this particular video, this news story. I'm just gonna play this since they're offering some type of video. Gonna mute this ad, and after this ad, I'm gonna unmute it.
Could this surveillance video be the key to solving a 10-year-old cold case? Brian Haywood's family says yes.
He was the last one seen with Brian.
Calumet City Police say the unidentified man in the video is a person.
Sorry for the lag. Let me pause this. Let me pause this and let it speed up. But yeah, this gentleman, this man right here, this is a hitman. This is a hired snake. Okay, whatever this man did, he got a hitman to work. You know, I mean, just imagine how much you think this hitman made to kill this guy. He was worth over $60 million with $50,000, $100,000. I'm gonna try to play this again and see if the video works. If it doesn't work, then I might have to go to YouTube, because obviously this is on YouTube as well. Yeah, and it might, you know, who knows? People don't probably want me talking about this shit. I find it very odd that, okay, I'm doing the live stream and then all of a sudden videos don't work. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna get into this. We're gonna let me go to open up YouTube, and we're gonna try to see if we can find, because basically they got the same footage. This is a 10-year-old cold case. Actually, it's probably, I mean, it's older now because that was in 2013. So we gonna look it up. We're gonna see if we can find something on this. Okay. That is something else. Yeah, Calumet City is definitely something. It goes down in Calumet City. We're gonna put in a businessman. Let's see here. Let's see if we could try to get this thing working, man. You know, I don't know what the hell, why this is not working, but let's see here.
Interest in Haywood's August 2000.
Okay, there we go. So we got it working.
2003 murder. But Haywood's sister and father say these visual clues should have produced more answers by now.
And every time we go over to talk to the police, well, we're still working on it, you know.
Determining the motive.
It's a case detectives Marco Glumac and Kevin Rapaz continue to investigate.
It's difficult because the case is so very solvable, and we're just missing a couple pieces that can help put it all together.
Haywood was 50 years old, a family man, businessman, and developer.
He was the
I was wrong. I said he was in his 30s. Obviously, I was off by a landslide.
best. His wheels turned all the time, and how he could do things. And
Haywood built this hotel in Calumet City. He owned rental properties and often helped his tenants.
They all loved him.
yeah.
They all loved him. He took care of them.
A street is now named in Haywood's honor, and more than 100 people attended his funeral. But what happened that day in August 10 years ago remains a mystery. Haywood's family believes one of his many business dealings may have backfired. Police assume the person in the video stopped by Haywood's office for an apartment tour. And police say it's possible the two men left to check out Haywood's property on Cunningham Avenue.
Upon our arrival, we found Brian down in the vacant apartment.
You worth $60 million. I don't care if you worth if I'm worth $6 million. Trust and believe. I'm not showing nobody no damn properties. I'm just not. I mean, yeah, it's all right to love your business and be passionate about your business, but this shit is chess. This ain't checkers. That is the job of a leasing agent, which is below a real estate broker. A real estate agent, a leasing agent, I mean, they make a little bit of money, but their job is to actually show people, apartments, not a millionaire business owner. Now, if you make $1 million, okay, there's room for argument with that. But if you're worth $60 million, you don't show apartments to people. You have subordinates do that. You have your employees do that.
Investigators say there was a struggle and Haywood was shot 3 times. Police collected DNA at the scene as well as a pair of sunglasses like those worn by the man in the video, but there are limited witness accounts.
6 gunshots inside this apartment building. Not one person saw anybody leaving the actual apartment, the apartment building, no vehicle.
And the mystery man, no one knows his whereabouts.
And there was rumored that he went to Florida or something.
But the family remains hopeful. Edward Haywood watched how police solved another murder case, his own father's. In 1945, Edgar Haywood was shot to death and his body burned. The case is featured in Real Detective magazine, where it's revealed how an angry employee of Edgar's confessed to the killing. And present-day investigators are confident they'll find out who killed Edward's son.
Something happened somewhere that gives us a piece of evidence that takes us into being able to solve it.
Police say new advances with DNA could ultimately help them solve the case, and the family recently upped its reward offer for information to $50,000. I'm Chris Coffey, NBC5 Investigates.
Okay. I see that comment. So let me go close out of this. Let's see here. Say follow the money. Oh yeah. I mean, here's the thing, on that type of level, who knows? I mean, when you get to that type of level, who knows? Okay, who knows? But the thing is this. I mean, a lot of times when you're involved in that type of level where you're going from $1 million to 10 million to 50 million upwards, you're making business decisions with people. You've either declined someone's offer or a deal, or you blown a deal, or you cost somebody some money, you owe somebody some money, who knows, what happened. But the reason most likely they haven't found anybody is because that my friend, that wasn't no man looking for no apartment in that video. That was a hired hitman. Okay, that was somebody that pretty much is a hired hit. Now, I don't know about DNA evidence. Their best opportunity is facial recognition. That is their best opportunity because that dude had a big ass, that dude head was so big. That's it ain't too many people that have heads that damn big and bald like that. I mean, the thing about it is that was a hired hitman. Okay. That man probably made $100,000 off that hit. Okay. You know, you got people, man, that are professional hitmen. They're the best of them. They don't get caught. They ain't gonna never get caught. And they know how to not get caught. I mean, so you know what I'm saying? That's just how that goes. But we gotta go back. We already know what happened to Nip. I'm not even gonna talk about as far as I ain't gotta show no video on Nipsey Hussle. Okay. I showed that video, I showed that story because it makes me it's a similar setup, it's a similar type of way you run your business, the same thing. So when it comes to Nipsey Hussle, same. The man was a multi-millionaire. He was involved, he was a very highly skilled businessman, and he was hanging out in front of his store, having a good time, chopping it up with the neighborhood. You don't do that when you're a multi-millionaire. I've done videos before, and I've done videos that I had to put it on Patreon because I saw them eyeballs. Yeah, respect my gangster. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm not necessarily in it all the way for the money, but yeah, I do I do like to be compensated, you know what I'm saying, for my time and my you know what I'm saying, videos as well. You know what I'm saying? If it's valuable, yeah, I have Patreon subscribers that pay me, they get that value. But when it comes to basically you know, the actual business operations that Nipsey Hussle did, it's the same type of setup. You having this small business type of ideology where you run your business, you there all the time. Because as a person that actually had a small business, yes, you gotta be on the hustle. You gotta be pretty much there. You gotta be the janitor, you gotta be the customer service rep, you gotta be the lawyer, you gotta be the accountant, you gotta be the administrative assistant. I mean, you gotta do all of you gotta be the cashier. All of these tasks you gotta do, because basically most people that start a business, they don't wait for a grant, they don't wait for no money, they don't get no loan. They just, like I did, I started just off of my income from my last job. I literally pulled my pension from working for the Chicago public school system. I started my business, got my licenses. I had to get 2 licenses. I had to get, you know, inventory, all of that stuff I had to do. It took me a long time to get inventory in my store and you know, get things off the ground. I didn't have any money to pay any employees. Yes, when you're scaling, going from 0 to 100,000 to 200,000 and stuff like that, yes, you don't have any money to not be there. You have to be there. You have to be there every day. You got to open up, you got to close. Yes, I get it. But a lot of times people don't, they actually fortunate enough to get a level of success where they don't know how to cut that off, that business, that small business logic where you have to do everything, you have to be there. When you get to that million plus in your bank account and you actually, you know what I'm saying, have an operational business, you don't have to be there. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying, you can hire employees. You can hire a CEO to run all of your businesses for you. You can train them. Basically, all you have to do is have them follow you for a period of weeks and months and come up with some type of, you pay a business consultant. You pay a business consultant to basically come up with a bona fide system that you can pass on to your CEO, to your managers, and then actually how your day-to-day operation should be run from morning, noon, and night, emergency contacts, all of this stuff. They'll compile it, put it in a binder, and that's like the binder, like your Bible. Like I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you free game. I'm gonna give y'all, because y'all watching this right now. I'm gonna give you free game. This is from a man that I done worked for businesses. I had my own businesses. I know how it's supposed to be done. When you have a business, I'm gonna give you the game. This is $1 million game that I'm finna drop right here. Okay, this is $1 million game that I'm finna drop right here. When you have a business, your business is supposed to have a Bible. You're supposed to have a Bible for your business, and that Bible is basically how that business should be operated outside of your presence. So, for example, and you know, I gotta give myself a bomb drop for this one. When I worked at Tiger Direct, I worked in the tech department. Okay, back when Tiger Direct was competing with Circuit City and Geek Squad, we had a binder that basically all of the operational tasks for that store was in this binder. The customer service number for Tiger Direct, the actual business practices for Tiger Direct, what code you put in the cash register for refund purposes. All of the business day-to-day operations was in that guide. That was like the Bible, okay, for that store. Every business needs that. If you have that, you have a business operation that basically you can train anybody to run that operation, you know, and every business should have one of those. And the thing about it is that is important when it comes to training other people to take your place, because yes, you just can't, like I said, you can't be accessible when you're a millionaire. Unfortunately, you got to move a certain way when you're a millionaire. Okay. The lack of security Nipsey did not have security. This gentleman obviously did not have security. Okay. Now, I mean, typically when you come see an apartment, yeah, you're not getting patted down. That typically is not how that works, but he shouldn't have been there. And what I'm saying is basically Nipsey should not have been there. He should have been with his girl. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna even talk about her beautiful, you know, self. He should be laying up with her in some other island somewhere and having his phone by and his business being ran through his cell phone in his little laptop in his room and having a good time with his boo thing. And that's it. That's the luxury that you see. It's a luxury to actually being wealthy and rich. It's a luxury for that. And one of the luxuries of that is, yes, you can use money to handle the affairs of your business. You can use it's operational cost to a business. The reason why you have to be there every day and all of this is, like I said, when you're going from that period where it's 0 to 50K to 100K and above, yes, you got to be the chief, dishwasher, cook, janitor, manager, cashier. Yes, you gotta be that. But when you get to a certain level where you have $1 million, $10 million, $2 million, whatever the case may be, you have the amount of money to pay a manager to run your store, an assistant manager. Because the thing is you don't have to pay the manager. Okay, the manager might make $50,000 a year. The assistant manager might make 38. You don't pay them that all at once. You pay, they got to earn their paycheck just like everybody else. They got to show up. They gotta, do their task, and then they get paid every 2 weeks or whatever the case may be. And then you have your associates, and they manage all of that. They'll only contact you unless it's an emergency. And it's not gonna be hardly any emergencies okay, let's just be honest. It's not gonna be no emergencies at no clothing store. Unless, I don't know what, a fire happening. And if the fire happened, don't call me. I'll be like, man, don't call me, call 911, motherfucker. Why are you calling me? So the thing is like, it's not gonna be like that. You know what I'm saying? It's very easy for that. And this gentleman, Brian, 50-year-old white guy, same. Even worse. You worth over $60 million. You got large scale apartment buildings. You already have, I know he has an LLC or a C Corp or something like that. You have executives to handle your business. And then you have managers. At least, I know he has a manager at the hotel. Obviously, a hotel has a manager or quite a few managers. And you have a manager to each one of your apartment buildings. And then you also have assistant managers. Then you have, staff that are down below those people, and they run the business. And you have leasing agents. If you have an apartment building, you have at least 1 or 2 leasing agents. They show properties. You sit your ass back. Man, let me have $60 million. Let me hit this jackpot. I'm going to check my tickets in a few. Let me, goddamn it, have millions of dollars. I am going to live my life. I'm going to make sure my businesses are running and operational and well-funded. And I'm going to have the best trained managers that I can get. And they're going to make sure that it's a operational assistant manager that is well-trained to take the place. Because the idea is, let's say, okay, if you're a manager, you don't even want to work that much. Most managers, most co-managers, they ain't working. The assistant manager, it's a hierarchy to this. Shout out to Ike. It's a hierarchy to this. Your manager, the assistant manager, is trying to take his place. If something happened to the manager, the assistant manager is up next. Just like in football and basketball, the assistant coach, ideally, he's trying to be the coach. So the assistant manager is going to be doing a lot of work. He's going to be doing the interviews for employees. He's going to be hiring and firing people, filling out paperwork, talking to the employees, administering any discipline for any type of violations or that they conduct or do. He is going to be doing all that. The manager, he's sitting back and he'll, help out. He's the quasi owner. The manager, you know how you can tell a good manager? He run that motherfucker like it's his business. You think the manager own the place. And that's rightfully how a manager is supposed to be. And the assistant manager, he damn near act like the manager. Like he run the place. So it's the value of a manager is very, very valuable. And a lot of times, people that have small business money, manager money, they don't know how to separate the two. Because a lot of times, let's just face it, most people have not gone to Wharton Business School. Most people have not gone to Harvard Business School, University of Chicago Business School. I haven't either, but I did go to business school at Parkland College. I did. I sure did. And I took business classes in high school, and I had even better. I had a millionaire grandfather that showed me business. But one thing I will say, my grandfather did scale. He owned damn near the whole block, all 4 corners. Well, he owned three of the 4. And the thing is that he did make that level, but he did some of the things that I'm talking about. He ran his business like a small business. He had the money and the success to actually run it like an actual business and not be there, enjoy more of his life. But that's what he wanted to do. It worked out where, he had it for a couple decades, and ultimately sold it. But the thing is that, yes, managers, they help you give you the freedom. Because here's the thing, the business is just like working at a job. What is your ultimate goal at a job? Your ultimate goal at a job should be to get yourself, get enough financial freedom so you can ultimately do what you actually want to do. Because like I say in my book, The Millionaire Savings Plan, the goal is to do what you really want to do. A lot of times we don't have the luxury to do what we want to do. We do what we have to do. Okay, that's no difference than business. Okay, when you ultimately get to a point where you have a business, like I say, when you start off from 0 to 100K, you're doing what you have to do. You have to show up. You have to work these different tasks and do these different tasks because you don't have the ultimate capital to pay for a manager, to pay to get, even to train an assistant manager to be ultimately a manager. You don't have it. And you don't even have the money to get qualified help. A lot of times when I had my computer shop, I would get help, but it was not really qualified. It was like people that were in the neighborhood that just, were, getting a social security check and they needed some extra money, but they were another body to help, It's like when you ultimately get to a certain level, that's not a problem anymore. But it is a problem when you're scaling. You just don't have the money for any type of person to come help you out because you just can't afford it. So that is ultimately what a lot of time people don't understand. People that go to business school, they know how to actually run businesses. They actually even know how to primarily like Wharton Business School, Harvard Business School, they teach you how to run large scale corporations. Actually running a small business or even a medium sized business it's not that difficult. This is same rules apply. But a lot of times people are not really educated. That's where the power of education kind of comes in, because you have to actually be trained to be an executive. Like right now, I'm learning to be an executive. I'm actually in startup school, because I'm trying to learn how to be a startup. I mean, I know I'm a little older, but hell, I still have breath in my body. Okay. So the thing is that, yeah, a lot of times it does take a certain level of understanding and training for people to actually learn how to run a business. A lot of times people, you graduate high school, you start a business or you work a job and you get some money together and you start a business, and you don't necessarily know anything about hostile takeovers or any type of like advanced business education. You just don't have it. You're just working off the hustle and the bustle, and you made a success, but you still running your business like a small business. And if you're privileged enough to watch this, yeah, these concepts that I'm giving you and these like warnings that I'm giving you can ultimately help you. You can use this knowledge and then if you're ever successful, or even if, some of you fools watch me and don't say nothing. Okay, cool. Some of you fools probably already a millionaire and you running your shit like a small business and you don't even have the goal enough to give me a Cashapp. But yeah, you fools, you can like take this information and actually run an actual business and stop running your shit like a small business. You know what I'm saying? But that is pretty much the gist of it. I'm gonna drop my link, and if anybody wanna hop on and talk, you know what I'm saying, I definitely got the time. Definitely thankful. I'm drinking some Hennessy that I bought like 2-3 weeks ago. About at this point, yeah, about 2 weeks ago. I'm sipping slow, and I'm enjoying myself. I had a long week. I had a rough week. My car went out, and I was trying to look for another car, but you know what? I was driving the old beater pickup truck that I bought, the backup car that I bought. And you know what, damn it, I might just drive that. I'm gonna look for a brake booster because it needs a brake booster. I'm gonna even put the brake booster on myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I was actually gonna pay somebody to put it on. I went on YouTube and saw a white woman putting on a brake booster on the same exact truck that I had. And I was like, you know what, damn it, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna try that tomorrow. And you know what I'm saying? The thing is that yeah, man, this week was definitely pretty cool, man. But it was, I'm thankful to get through it, but the old Mercedes, man, it done went out, man. I called the shop today. They said that they won't probably get to see it until Monday. So I'm gonna just try to drive my pickup truck, man, for a while. I actually made a little coins off of it today. I moved the guy. He had a bed frame, a bed, and couple dressers, you know, helped him move, made a little coins. So I'm actually pretty happy, man. It was my first, I have a business. It's called Al's Homes Enterprises. I mean, actually Al's Home Services. And that was my first transaction, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty happy, man. I couldn't say none the wiser. I mean, I actually don't even move. I don't even have on my website. I don't have moving on there. It's just handyman services and cleaning. But I'm pretty thrilled, man. I made a little money moving. Got the wheels rolling. So that was pretty cool, man. So today was it was pretty cool, man. Played the lotto, got a couple tickets. I mean, I don't like checking my tickets at night. I like checking my tickets tomorrow, the next day, because the thing is that I like dreaming, and I don't want to rob myself of a good dream, because I'm definitely gonna be thinking about what I'm gonna be doing. Like I gotta see what is the payoff. Well, I'm gonna see what is the actual payoff for the lottery or whatever if you win. What is the cash payout? Because I'm definitely taking the cash payout. I ain't about to take the I used to say, you know what, I would take the I would take the I would take the long-term payout. But you know what? The okay, so they saying it was nine, so you would get $900 million, $980 million or something like that, or whatever. So let me see here. Past results. So let me see here. Prize and odds. Let's see what the hell. I was a $1 billion. It was $1 billion. So okay, I don't know what the payout. Let me go to the Illinois. Let me go to the Illinois website and see what they talking about. Because there's sometimes they'll tell you what you would have actually got. Let's see here, the actual cash payout. Well, whatever. I mean, they're gonna take taxes out. So you just gotta say they're gonna give you at least probably gonna take like you probably gonna be left with like $600 million or seven between $600 and $700 million. That's enough to do more than enough to do a lot of things. And I mean, no, I'm not contacting any lawyers, anything. I went to business school and everything like that. I know what to do with some money. Basically, just don't tell anybody. And basically, I already know who to go talk to. I mean, basically, you put your money with the big sharks. I mean, you go to hit up JP Morgan Chase or Merrill Lynch Wealth Advisors. Get them about 300 million in there so they could just, so you can get richer and richer over time. And that's just to put your money there, just to park it. And then the other take another 100 million, open up, Bank of America account, take another, take some more millions, put it in a black account, black bank, get them some money, and then take some more money, put it in a credit union. By the time you look up, all the accounts that you've had now, just put a whole bunch of, just put 100 million in each one of them. You know what I'm saying? And then, I just pretty much, of course, quit my job, and I'll just work my businesses and fund those and get those off the ground. Then next thing you know, I'll be a billionaire because I already know my businesses are some of them are valuable. The broke genius will no longer be the broke genius. All of these videos will self-destruct. This channel will definitely self-destruct. Because I say some very divisive things that, once I become a multi-billionaire, they would definitely run on news ads and news stories all day long. So I definitely will have to, destruct this channel. And yeah, the brokegenius.com, I might just leave that up. And then, of course, anything related to my video channel, I'll blow up. But I might sell Broke Genius gear, have a Broke Genius brand. I might just basically let the brand go, because it's like, like for example, this hat, that ain't something that I sell. It's some dude in California that's selling Broke Genius gear. I might just be like, you know what, man, I like what you do. I like your style. Here goes $1 million, man. But I need about, you got to give me 40% of the business, or maybe 50% or something like that. And then, you know what I'm saying, we just take it off. It becomes a household name like Supreme. You know what I'm saying? Just, we selling jackets and we selling all kind of stuff. I don't know. It's a thought. If he said no, I wouldn't give two humbugs about it. So it's like, man, I like to check the next day, because I basically get my opportunity. I get my opportunity to dream. I saw this big booty chick that I was talking to while I was getting my Harold's chicken, and maybe I might dream about her a little bit. But it is what it is, man. It definitely is what it is. My brokerage accounts are popping, so I'll just have those pop some more. Oh man, so yeah, nobody wants to hop on, huh? Oh man. Okay. Ooh, boy. Yeah, that Henny, boy. Man, Hennessy, man, that's an old brand, boy. That's an old brand. It's like 1700s. Goes back to the 1700s. All right. Well, in true fashion, gonna end this off with the good note. You know what I'm saying? And this is to all my hustlers out there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The broke genius gave you some free game. You know what I'm saying? Free game. So we gonna close this one on out. You know what I'm saying? Definitely Nipsey Hussle, man. He man, when he died, man, that really hurt me, man. I don't know why, but because I really wasn't really too much of a fan, but it just hit me a certain type of way.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write
hit me,
essays that inspire,
hit me a certain way where I was just like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Definitely.